Life gets loud, people talking, judging, comparing, and trying to tell you who you should be. But what if I told you that real strength doesn't come from shouting louder than everyone else? It comes from staying quiet, focused, and unstoppable in your purpose. You see, the world is full of noise, but only a few people know how to rise above it. Not by arguing, not by explaining, but by working in silence until the results speak for themselves. This speech isn't just about being quiet. It's about mastering the art of silence. It's about learning how to protect your energy, how to focus on your goals, and how to stop wasting time proving yourself to people who will never understand your vision. Because sometimes the loudest thing you can do is say nothing and just show up stronger than ever. I want you to stay with me till the end of this video, not because it's a motivational speech, but because it's a reminder. A reminder that your dreams don't need approval, your growth doesn't need validation, and your journey, no matter how slow or silent, is still moving forward. So take a deep breath, block out the noise, and get ready to hear something that might just shift your mindset forever. Because after this, you won't see silence as weakness, you'll see it as your greatest weapon. Let's begin. You don't need an audience to grow. In fact, some of your greatest progress will happen when no one even knows you're working. The world today is loud. Everyone's talking, posting, showing off, proving something. But real growth doesn't happen on display. It happens in the quiet hours when you're grinding, learning, and healing without applause. When you're focused on becoming better, you don't need to announce your every move because true elevation doesn't require validation. The moment you start needing people to see your progress, you hand them control over your peace. You begin to chase approval instead of purpose. And that's when your focus starts to scatter. There's power in silence because silence keeps you grounded. When you're quiet, you can hear yourself think. You can hear your goals whispering to you, telling you to keep going even when no one's clapping. Growth is a personal journey. It's between you, your faith, your vision, and your work ethic. Nobody else can understand your path the way you do. And not everyone will celebrate your progress. Some will doubt it, some will envy it, and others will try to distract you from it. That's why you must learn to move in silence, because not everyone around you is rooting for you to win. The seeds you plant in private will bloom in public when the time is right. But you can't rush that process or keep pulling the roots out to show people what's growing. You have to trust that your effort will pay off, that your silence will bear fruit, and that your dedication will speak louder than your words ever could. The person who stays quiet while working is dangerous because their next move is never predictable. They don't seek validation, they seek transformation. They don't need to prove who they are. They're too busy becoming who they're meant to be. So if no one's noticing your effort right now, don't let that discourage you. Stay focused, keep building. Your time is coming. The most powerful people are often the ones no one pays attention to until they've already won. Growth doesn't require noise. It requires consistency, patience, and faith. You are not behind. You are just in your silent season, and that's where your power is being formed. You don't need an audience to grow. The truth is, your greatest progress happens when no one is watching, when it's just you, your grind, and your faith. We live in a world that celebrates noise, people shouting about their every move, posting their every step, looking for approval from strangers. But real growth doesn't happen in the spotlight, it happens in silence. It's when you wake up early, stay late, and keep pushing even when nobody's clapping for you. It's when you're tired but still show up, when you fall and get back up without making an announcement. Growth isn't about showing people you're changing. It's about becoming so focused on your purpose that you don't even care who notices. When you stop needing validation, you start moving differently. You begin to realize that the less you say, the more powerful you become. Silence gives you strength because it removes distractions. It allows you to focus fully on your goals, your vision, and your next step. The moment you stop explaining yourself to everyone is the moment you free yourself from their opinions. Not everyone needs to understand your path. Not everyone deserves to see your process. Some people only want front row seats to your struggles, not your success. That's why you keep quiet. Let the results speak when the time comes. There's beauty in working behind the scenes. It's in those quiet moments when your character is built, your discipline is tested, and your vision becomes clearer. When you don't have applause, you learn to clap for yourself. When no one's cheering, you learn to motivate yourself. The silence becomes your strength because it forces you to rely on faith, not attention. You learn that greatness doesn't shout, it whispers. And those whispers turn into roars once the work is done. So if no one's noticing your progress right now, don't be discouraged. It's supposed to be that way. You're not being overlooked, you're being prepared. The seeds you're planting in private will bloom when the time is right, and when they do, the same people who ignored you will wonder how you did it. Stay quiet, stay consistent, and remember, your growth doesn't need an audience, it just needs your focus. Silence is not weakness, it's power. In a world where everyone wants to speak louder, prove more, and react to everything, silence is the most underrated form of strength. When you learn to be still instead of reacting, when you stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, you gain peace that no argument could ever bring. Silence doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about your peace more than your pride. Every time you choose silence over chaos, you choose to protect your energy, your focus, and your mental clarity. You begin to realize that not everything deserves a response, not every battle is worth fighting, and not every comment deserves your voice. People often think power lies in how loud they can be, how much they can prove, or how quickly they can respond. But real power lies in control, the control of your tongue, your emotions, and your reactions. When you speak out of anger, you lose control. When you argue to be understood by people who don't even want to listen, you lose time. But when you stay silent, you maintain your dignity, you keep your peace, and you stay focused on what truly matters. Silence becomes your armor against negativity. It becomes your protection from the noise of the world that tries to pull you away from your path. When you practice silence, you begin to hear what truly matters. The sound of your own thoughts, your instincts, and your inner guidance. You begin to see things more clearly because you're no longer distracted by noise. It's in silence that clarity grows, that healing begins, and that focus returns. The moment you stop reacting to everything around you, you start to master yourself. You learn that peace is not found in controlling others. It's found in controlling yourself. There's incredible freedom in choosing silence. You stop being a slave to opinions, gossip, and negativity. You start valuing your energy and giving it only to things that align with your purpose. Silence is where wisdom lives. It's where your next move is born. It's where your strength is restored. You don't need to respond to prove your worth. Your silence will speak volumes when your results appear. The loudest voice in the room isn't always the strongest. The calmest one usually is. Focus is power. The moment you stop scattering your energy on things that don't serve you, your life begins to move with purpose. Most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack focus. They spend their time watching others, comparing, competing, and reacting instead of building, improving, and growing. When your eyes are constantly on someone else's lane, you lose sight of your own. But when you bring your focus back to yourself, to your goals, your discipline, and your growth, you start to see progress in ways you never imagined. Focusing on yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. It's about realizing that your energy is limited and you can't afford to waste it on distractions. Every time you engage in drama, every time you overthink someone's opinion, every time you chase approval, you lose power. Focus means saying no to what doesn't serve your vision. It means ignoring the noise so you can hear the call of your purpose clearly. When you focus inward, you become sharper, stronger, and more disciplined. You start recognizing what's truly important and what's just background noise trying to pull you off track. The greatest achievers in life are not necessarily the smartest. They're the most focused. They don't spread their attention across 100 things. They commit deeply to a few. They don't talk about their goals endlessly. They execute quietly. And because of that focus, their results speak louder than any words ever could. When you direct your full energy into something meaningful, that's when momentum builds. The more consistent you are, the stronger your focus becomes. It's like aiming sunlight through a magnifying glass. When concentrated, it can start a fire. But focus also requires discipline. It's easy to get distracted, easy to lose motivation when progress feels slow, and easy to quit when no one's watching. That's why focus isn't just about attention, it's about endurance. It's staying the course even when the reward isn't immediate. It's keeping your eyes forward when life tries to pull you sideways. You can't control everything that happens around you, but you can control what you give your energy to. Protect that focus like your future depends on it, because it does. The more you master your focus, the more unstoppable you become. There's no need to prove yourself to anyone when your work can speak louder than any words ever could. The moment you stop talking about what you're going to do and start quietly doing it, everything changes. The world is filled with noise, people making promises, bragging about plans, showing off beginnings, but never finishing anything. But the real power, the real respect comes from results. When you let your success speak for you, no one can argue with it. People can doubt your words, but they can't deny your results. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Just keep showing up, keep working, and let the outcome do the talking. There's a certain strength in the person who doesn't announce every move, who doesn't need applause or approval. When you're focused on the mission, you don't have time to explain it to everyone. You don't need validation when you know your vision. Success earned in silence carries a different kind of weight. It humbles you because you know what it took. The sleepless nights, the failures, the sacrifices, the patience. And when you finally arrive, you don't need to shout at your presence, your results, your consistency. They'll do the speaking for you. Letting success speak for you also protects your peace. Because when you talk too early, you invite opinions, distractions, and negativity into something that still needs time to grow. Not everyone wants to see you win. And sometimes sharing too soon gives people room to plant doubt where faith should be. When you stay quiet and let your actions build your reputation, you keep control of your narrative. Nobody can twist your words when you haven't said any. Nobody can block your path when they don't know where you're headed. The truth is, loud dreams often fade fast, but quiet discipline lasts a lifetime. When you choose to let your work speak, you shift from seeking attention to commanding respect. People begin to notice your consistency, your character, your results, and that's when your success becomes undeniable. So stay humble, stay silent, and let your growth be your statement. Because when it's your time, your success will speak so loudly that you won't need to say a word. In a world where everyone is trying to be seen and heard, patience and consistency have become rare qualities. But if you want to truly grow, if you want to rise above the noise, you must learn to trust the process. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Success doesn't appear the moment you start working. It's built slowly, quietly, piece by piece. Every day you show up, every small effort you make, every challenge you face and overcome. It's all adding up even if you can't see it yet. Patience means understanding that just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. It's about believing that the effort you're putting in now will bear fruit in time. Consistency is the bridge that connects your dreams to your reality. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up again and again, even when no one is watching, even when results feel far away. There will be moments when you question yourself, when doubt whispers that maybe it's not worth it, maybe it's taking too long. But remember, every great story takes time to unfold. The strongest trees grow slowly, their roots go deep before their branches rise high. The same is true for you. You can't rush greatness. You can't speed through purpose. When you focus on being consistent instead of being fast, you build something that lasts. The world often celebrates quick success, but real success, the kind that changes your life, comes from perseverance. It's the product of showing up on the days you don't feel like it, staying disciplined when it's easier to quit, and trusting that your effort will not go to waste. Patience teaches you humility. It reminds you that everything comes in its season. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it, nurture it, and trust the process. That's how dreams work too. If you stay consistent, if you keep doing your best with a grateful heart, eventually you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Success built on patience and consistency can't be shaken because it wasn't built in a hurry. It was built with purpose, faith, and time. So be patient with yourself, stay consistent with your work, and know that one day, all those small steps will lead you exactly where you're meant to be. Your silence is your power. In a time when everyone feels the need to prove something, explain themselves, or respond to every opinion, choosing silence becomes an act of strength. When you stay silent, you give yourself space to observe, to understand, and to grow. You learn more about people when you listen instead of speaking. You see things others miss because they're too busy making noise. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. It means you don't allow the world to dictate your reactions. It means you're focused on your journey, not distracted by chatter around you. The loudest person in the room often has the least to say. The one who listens carefully usually has the most wisdom. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you begin to hear your inner voice clearly. You start to understand what truly matters to you, what your goals are, and what your next move should be. You stop wasting energy trying to convince others of your worth and instead invest that energy into becoming the best version of yourself. Silence protects your vision from unnecessary judgment. Not everyone deserves to know your dreams because not everyone will understand them. The more you talk about what you plan to do, the more opinions you invite, and often those opinions can shake your confidence. But when you move quietly, you build strength in private. You let your actions speak louder than your words. Sometimes people underestimate you when you're silent. That's a good thing. Let them. While they talk, you're building. While they doubt, you're preparing. And one day your results will make the noise for you. Silence keeps you grounded and prevents your emotions from controlling you. When someone disrespects you or tries to provoke you, silence gives you power over your reaction. It teaches you discipline, to respond with wisdom, not anger. Staying silent also helps you develop patience and resilience. It allows you to see that not every battle needs to be fought, and not every criticism deserves attention. You rise above negativity, not by shouting back, but by outgrowing it. The moment you stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand your path, you free yourself. You no longer walk for validation. You walk with purpose. Your silence becomes your shield, your actions become your voice, and your growth becomes your statement. At the end of the day, focusing on yourself and staying silent is not about shutting the world out. It's about tuning into the right frequency. It's about understanding that real power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers in discipline, in patience, in quiet determination. You don't need to announce your every move. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. The results will speak for you when the time is right. Remember, silence doesn't mean weakness. It means you're too focused on your growth to entertain distractions. Stay consistent, stay humble, and let your success make the noise. Life will test you. People will misunderstand you. But if you keep your eyes on your goals and your heart aligned with your purpose, no amount of noise can shake your peace. Protect your vision, move in silence, and let your actions echo louder than any words ever could. Because the truth is, greatness doesn't need an announcement. It reveals itself through results. So as you walk your journey, remember this: stay silent, stay focused, and keep building. Every sacrifice, every quiet moment, every unseen effort is shaping the person you're meant to become. Don't rush the process, trust it. And when the time comes, your light will shine so bright that even those who doubted you won't be able to ignore it. I want to wish you good luck on your journey ahead. Keep believing, keep growing, and keep moving forward, one silent, powerful step at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And most importantly, thank you for choosing to become better every single day.